Okay. Oh, no! Curse you truly, you dumb fucking hard seltzer, whatever the fuck you are. Piece of shit. Hate advertisements. I feel like I've never actually had a sponsored advertisement where I actually went, wow, that sounds like a good product. Hold on. Wasn't I just Googling this? It's always dumb shit. Oh my god. Like, 2018? 2017? I got non-stop YouTube advertisements for a local hospital that I'd never been to. I'd never been to that hospital before. And, like, it was just ridiculous. Every ad for every video I watched. Well, I shouldn't say every ad. At least one of the two unskippable ads. And that had to be 2018, I think. During the era of the unskippable ad. But this hospital was always one of the ads. It was always one of them. And it just drove me up the wall. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Jesus. Can I get a revolving door that never closes, please? A flat 2700, not bad. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer that you can't tell what level you are. Or, like, not that you can't tell what level you are, because you can't. But, like, even, like, take a guess at it. Because your MP bar doesn't get any bigger, your health bar doesn't get any bigger. Nothing really changes. I didn't even see that. I literally couldn't even see it. I don't know. I wasn't looking, I guess. It was also a stained glass floor, so I think it's understandable. Oh, and I went back and checked that guy's post. The, gosh, what was his name? Insanity something? Insanity runs? I'll have to double check. He didn't use the double experience boost. Or at least he claimed not to. So that's interesting. I also found it interesting to see all the comments people were leaving. It's always funny. There's always people who just chime in with the, oh, it's pointless. Why would you do it? The game's already easy enough. We got a no-lifer over here. And it appears that other people who do these challenges just don't interact with those people, but I like to. I mean, it's free entertainment. Especially when I'm doing something on the DS and I have my hands free. And, like, I have time to reply to comments because, like, I'm running around on a Game Boy, so I can just use one hand. It's so much fun. It's easy entertainment. I think the only place that you're completely free of that is, like, the Professor Oak and the Shiny Hunter page on Pokemon subreddits. Those people do not care about wasting time. It's not even wasting time to them. They truly enjoy it. Honestly, I was one of the only people on that entire subreddit who said people were wasting their time. And even then, I only said you were wasting your time if you were specifically playing games with things like the Hidden Grottos, Munchlax, and is it Platinum, I think? The Honey Tree and Platinum? I might be wrong about that. And then, there was one kid who said he was going to do a... What is it? The Poké Radar? Is that an Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire? He was going to do a shiny only Professor Oak challenge. And I remember it took him like 2 months just to get to the first badge. And like, I don't remember any posts after the 3rd area when the game opens up. I'd hope by now that he's done. But he either completely gave up or is just slowly chugging along. But I said it wasn't worth it. But that's my opinion. And I mostly believe that because I don't like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I don't like the 3D models. I really just... I wish I could. But I do not like the 3D models. Call me whatever you want. I think Pokemon is best as a 2D game. I don't even know if I necessarily believe that. I might just believe that the 3D design team doesn't know what they're doing. I think the vast majority of Pokemon did not translate to 3D well at all. Like, at all. Like, it's crazy sometimes when you look at how some Pokemon translated to 3D. I think Haunter's really bad. I'm literally thinking about some of my favorite Pokemon, and they're just so bad. Haunter and Feraligatr especially. They were massacred in the transition to 3D. My Pokemon Crystal babies. Haxorus got massacred. Tentacruel's weird. I don't think Tentacruel's bad. It's just weird. I don't think they know what to do with a lot of Pokemon. Skarmory got just ruined with its stationary setup. It literally should just be standing. There's just so many. I can't even think of all of them, obviously, because I only know up to 600. I don't even know some of them. I'm assuming most of the new Pokemon actually look pretty good since they were made with 3D in mind. But I could be wrong. I will say Voltorb and Electrode finally got the glow up they deserved. They lose nothing from going to 3D. Oh man, could you imagine if, well, who would be the strong force in this? Could you imagine if Square Enix reached out to Pokemon and they did like a Kingdom Hearts Pokemon thing? Hello. Just having a wonderful train of thought about Square Enix reaching out to Pokemon and doing a Kingdom Hearts Pokemon crossover. Eventually they'll run out of Disney. And it's either Hello Kitty or Pokemon. I can't think of any other massive companies. No point in grabbing that, but I will. I noticed it. I love the little sound effect. I think everybody does. Nice. There we go. Couldn't get my combo to continue. Shoot, I keep thinking to myself, look up in the top left. Just, oh, there we go. 2,200. So let's get through this level. I think I decided on playing through a Wei character on Dynasty Warriors. I'll probably do some grinding in Final Fantasy 12. Not exactly sure how much. I might just unlock a couple monographs. I'm not really sure. I don't know why I attacked there. That was way too far. There we go. That was brilliant. Need some more of that. There we go. Lock-on's actually working for once. Ooh, was that a double? Yes. See, that was great. Alright, so whatever the timer is on their drops, I would extend it by 5 seconds if this was my game. Just barely not enough time. Just barely. If you added 5 more seconds, I could have grabbed that money that was from the other fight, and that'd be... I mean, how's that ruining the game? Well, I guess this is a PS2 game. You can't have too many objects on screen. I do have to think about limitations. And I think items are like permanent until you leave the area. At least they last really long. Oh, that was both. Nice. I'll have to go look through Dynasty Warriors catalog, because I was thinking a lot more about Kingdom Hearts Dynasty Warriors, and it made me want to check out the Legend of Zelda. I think it's Hyrule Warriors crossover. I think I could play that. I've never played a Legend of Zelda game, and I'm not sure if that would count, but I do love Dynasty Warriors. I'm so sad. I used to have the Game Informer magazine that announced the release of Gundam Warriors. Or I can't even remember what it was called. But I just remember thinking back in the day, like, this is such a cop-out. Like, I can't believe they're doing this. It's ridiculous. And, like, finding that game now is just ridiculously difficult. I wish I'd had bought it. But I was not into Gundam. I could not understand why Gundam would be something they chose to use. And I thought it was lame. Never actually got into Gundam. Even as I got way more into anime, I never got into Gundam. I definitely respect the crossover a lot more now. but I never ended up getting into it. Or Genesis. I think everybody has a favorite mech show. My favorite mech show was originally Zoids, and then it was Eureka 7. Eureka. 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 It's been a while since I've seen the show. I know it's not Eureka, for certain. But I think that's one I'd actually like to read. I should check it out, see what the manga looks like. Oh, I was so sad. I went to Walmart a few days ago trying to buy, what is it, Chapter 107? Is that the Arrival of Joy Boy? And they were sold out. I was so mad. They had, I don't even know if they sold out or if just the employees held them back. I don't like to be judgmental, but after the whole Pokemon card fiasco, I really don't know how to feel about employees. Like, not that I'm any better. I would do it. But, like, when it comes to rare items that are already going to be scarce, so, like, I know that's confusing to say, but, like, something that's not sold at every single store. And then even when it's sold at a certain store, it shows up in low quantity. It's gonna just, like, disappear off the shelves before it even reaches them. Which, again, makes no sense. But it's just how it goes. It's like the whole Pokemon thing. They were either printing extra cards and then pocketing the extra cards, or they were just pocketing the cards, creating even more scarcity. But the Walmart I shop at only sells, like, 2 or 3 copies of the mangas that they actually put on sale. I'm assuming because they're not big selling items. And then, of course, this one chapter of One Piece that's, like, super big. Those 3 copies didn't even make it to the shelf. And I've been going to the store for, like, the past 2 years. And they've always had, like, the chapters on cycle in, like, 2 to 3 copies. And then this one copy that I was so excited to go buy, they were never out. I went 2 days in a row and they never made it to the shelf. I was a bit bummed, but I mean, I can also just get it from Amazon for $7.98. But I wanted to get it up in person because I don't have any of the books from One Piece, so buying it in person after finding it in a low quantity at a store that I frequent would have been kind of cool. Grabbing one of the 3 copies available would have been kind of a little memento to go with it, but now I'm just gonna buy one on Amazon. Maybe one day I'd like to get the big books where it has, like, multiple chapters, or not multiple chapters, they all have multiple chapters, multiple volumes in one collection. What are those called? I can't think what they're called. Gosh, they sell the Attack on Titan one, which again has been staying there for like months and nobody's touched it. But this one chapter for One Piece, or I keep saying chapter, this one volume for One Piece, just again never made it to the shelf, which is suspicious as hell to me. I'm excited to see the episode, though. Not that I think One Piece is the greatest animated show of all time, but I think it's going to bring in a whole new fandom. And with that, obviously more money. And it's not that One Piece needs more money, but it's, I think, more shows will dare to be like One Piece, where they don't actually have to be... I'm trying to think what the term would be. I'm trying to think what, like, the modern anime scene really is right now. It's just weird. it's a lot of all flash and no sustenance, but we're finally seeing with One Piece a payoff that is 25 years in the making, I think. I don't actually know because I haven't been following it. I'm one of the newbies. I'm one of the exact people I'm talking about. But I've always liked One Piece. I just couldn't get into it because I didn't understand the power system. I didn't understand devil fruits. I always just thought it was going to be a system of there's constantly new and better fruits. But, like, it's not so much even that anymore. Like, I'm excited to see how all this stuff turns out with the inheritance of dreams and wills and whatnot. The whole, can everybody awaken a fruit or only certain people awaken a fruit? Why did it take 800 years for this fruit to awaken if other people have used it? Like, there's a lot of questions that still need answered to determine what kind of show it is. And I think the payoff is going to be brilliant. My only question as somebody who's looking from the outside in is if the payoff is going to change how people view the show going forward. Because you can only do the reveal once. And for such a big reveal, I mean, it could just change everything. Because it'll be a, what's it called? Snape kills Dumbledore. It'll be one of those things that if somebody hears you're watching it, they'll spoil it for you. It'll be one of those spoilers that people will just throw at you to make you miserable. So the question is, will the spoiler outweigh the journey? Probably not, in my opinion. I think it's going to be good. I can't remember who I just saw it. There's a big discussion going on. Some YouTuber made a post about how the One Piece is most likely just Joy Boy's memories through the Paw fruit. And then it linked to like some Reddit post from years ago about it. And it was really neat to read, but I definitely am in that boat now. That is my current... I don't even know. I'm not even a big enough fan to know how they vote in the show, if there is like a special way, but that is my hat in the ring. I'm throwing it into that one. And I definitely think that would be a solid enough end. Because as soon as, if you hear that spoiler that it's just Joy Boy's memories made by the Paw fruit, when you get to, I believe, Thriller Bark, and you meet Kuma and see the nothing happened scene, I think it only makes that scene better. I think it only empowers that scene, and you realize how far away that reveal is and how much of a journey you still have. And then when you see him again at the Sabaody Archipelago, is how I think you pronounce it. You see him in that interaction again. And then you see Kizaru say, "You can never trust a pirate." And then you get the Revolutionary Army reveal. And I mean, I don't think somebody can spoil all of One Piece. And I think that's how the show's going to survive after the ending comes about. Because Snape killing Dumbledore doesn't ruin the the movie. You almost expect it when you first start. You're just kind of like, yeah, it's Snape. Like, wow, dude, thanks. But as you read or watch further, you realize, like, how does this happen exactly? So, not all spoilers ruin the entire experience. Some spoilers do ruin an experience, but few take away from the entire journey. And I think One Piece will survive that just fine. Or he could drop the ball. I don't see that happening, though. If anything, I could see him dropping the ball on a reveal, and the would be the proper term. The reception from the audience would be like lukewarm, and people would be kind of like, oh no, is this the end? And that man would write another 5 years and then end on a high note. It wouldn't be the true ending, and you could tell, but there's no way he'd actually leave it on a low note. Or I don't even know. A low note is probably the right term. That's what I want to say, but I don't think it's the right euphemism, I believe. Metaphor? Definitely not metaphor. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I still want to know if the fruits are alive, if it's just a will that the fruit carries, or if it's actually like inheriting somebody's dreams and desires. So it's like a one for all kind of thing, where every time somebody inherits it, the old weak powers get stronger. So like originally, every devil fruit when it's created is weak, but the more people who desire or have dreams to have that power make it stronger. So like originally was it Maramara no Mi was actually just like a simple fire. You could just make a little tiny fire in your hand, but everybody dreamed of having that fruit and getting better and better with it, and with every awakening, the fruit got stronger, and every person after that would inherit the will of the last person. We're now up to Sabo, who can punch through multiple ships. I don't know. It'll be interesting. But again, back in the early 2000s, I could not get into the show because I just did not understand it. And there's something uncanny about the way he draws people. I still don't like it. It makes me wildly uncomfortable when I look at some of the characters, like Robin and stuff. Like their proportions are just so off that it gives me Slender Man vibes. Something's not right about it. However, as he's gone on, the more crazy the characters have gotten, I think the more normal it's gotten. And I don't want to say it's the better he's gotten at art, because his art's always been good. It has evolved, but it's always been good. But like, as different races and stuff have been introduced, it's made it more normalized in the world that humans aren't simply our world sized. That people can be 9 feet tall, whereas they can't be in our world. I mean, you're pushing 7 feet, but you can't do the feats they can there. So, as the show's gone on and it's been more... And I shouldn't even say this because from what I've read, Oda does struggle with, like, consistency with how large certain characters are. But he has consistency in that, like, the admirals are huge. Like, when Kainu is, like, towering over Kobe, it's ridiculous. Also, the Shanks glow-up is hilarious. That's a great example. Man, I need to start writing YouTubers' names down so that I can, like, throw their names out when I mention their like, theories and stuff. I don't like just mentioning people's theories and not remembering their names. Like, I was just watching somebody the other day that was talking about how Big Mom most likely looked different while she was on Zebek's ship, because Zebek most likely had the darkness fruit. I can't remember the name of the darkness fruit. And that would have canceled out her fruit and taken Mother Caramel's influence away. So Big Mom had time to be normal again. I should read through One Piece one day, but I just genuinely don't think I have the time anymore. Maybe when I take a big break from this, I will sit down and read some One Piece. Because I do just like to be outside and reading. But whew, I read a lot during the pandemic. Well, I shouldn't say that. I read a lot for what I normally read. So I kind of got burnt out on reading. But I read all of Hunter x Hunter multiple times, like 3 or 4 times. And then I read Jurassic Park twice, and then got halfway through The Lost World, and that's when I kind of burnt myself out. But I was so into it for a while there that I actually went out and bought the limited edition Jurassic Park Lost World dual copybook, or whatever you want to call it. And I love it, but I got to the scene in The Lost World where the one college student is chasing a T-Rex on a bicycle through the jungle, and I couldn't picture it. I couldn't follow my own mental story anymore. I usually paint a picture when I read, so I usually have to read something twice, like literally while I'm reading it the first time, and then I'll read the book a second time, and I can usually paint a good mental picture of what I'm reading the second time, and I really enjoy the story the second time. That's something I had to learn in school, because I just can't read quickly and understand what I'm reading. I can read quickly and like not understand it at all, or I can read super slowly and understand it. Like, those are my options. And if I want to read slowly and understand something the first time, it's going to take me a long time. I like an unenjoyable amount of time to get through a simple book. So I usually just read through things quickly and then don't understand it, and like learn the words, so that the second time I read through, I know what I'm reading, kind of. And when I have to slow read, it's a much faster slow read, so I can actually get through the book at an enjoyable pace. Plus, again, I can paint a picture of what I'm reading. Bonus points if I'm reading something that I've seen a movie to, because then I can just automatically use my mental image of the people in the movie, and it helps me reading. It helps my reading even better, because my comprehension goes up, because I don't have to like work on painting the mental image. I don't really have a choice on the mental image thing. It just kind of appears. When I read the words monster can, I picture a can of Monster. It just kind of happens. So when I'm reading a book about people being chased by velociraptors, I kind of have to think about it. So, again, just 2 reads. Manga has been a very interesting medium for me to pick up in the last few years. I always liked comic books and stuff as a kid, but like they're really short and super expensive for what you have to like pay and what you get. So I never really got to enjoy them a lot when I was younger. I bought Claymore with one of my birthday like allotments. Like, everybody has one birthday where they get an extraordinary amount of money. And maybe not, I shouldn't say that. That's a privileged thing to say. I shouldn't have said that. That's rude. Some people have one birthday where they get an extraordinary amount of money. And I spent all of mine on Claymore. And I bought volumes 1 through 9? 1 through 10? Which, now that I'm saying it, I think is like $80. That's a lot of money. No, I got them at Barnes & Noble, so it was probably about $100. That's a lot of money for how old I was, but I bought a bunch of copies of Claymore, and I loved it. But when I went to get more of them, I remember asking my mom to get me some of them, because she was super excited that I wanted books. And then she saw that they were comic books, and she was like, okay, whatever, at least he's reading. And then I got into the car, and like she wasn't happy with how much they cost. I got 2 of them. And we got into the car, and by the time we got home, it was like a 30-minute drive. I had read both volumes, and she was just so mad that I had read both of them that quickly. But as a child who played Game Boy in the car, I could read anything while the car was moving, and there was nothing stopping me from reading those 2 new volumes. She was so mad. But that was the last time I got any manga for the longest time. And then during the pandemic, I kept getting Hunter x Hunter recommendations on Amazon. And finally, I saw that you could do like big purchases of a bunch of volumes all at once. And I bought one because I just watched through it on, I can't remember what streaming service had it. But it got all the way up to, I think, the start. It was like 1 or 2 episodes of the Chimera Ant arc. And I was like, I have to know how this ends. So I watched it, and it goes to like, I can't even remember. Oh wait, no, I'm misremembering. I watched it on, I think it was Hulu or Netflix for sure. It wasn't like Amazon or Plus or something, but definitely wasn't Disney Plus. But it gets up to like, I think where they meet Kite and they go into the NGL and then it ends abruptly, which was really strange. So I think I bought the Blu-ray or something like that, or the DVDs, and watched it. And you get to the end of the election arc, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was not how I expected it. And then I think I went to like the subreddit or something like that, and people were just talking about the manga. And I was just like, what is this talk about Kurapika on a boat and stuff? Like, what am I missing? And I did some research and stuff, and I saw that there was volume 0. And I was like, okay, let's try to get that one. And I saw like how expensive it was and how like rarely it was in stock. And when it was in stock, it sells out quickly. And it was just like, okay, that's lame, but it's a bunch of stuff about Kurapika, but neat. And I kind of just looked up stuff about it online, and I was like, there's like really nothing about him in a boat. So I did some more digging, and that's when I found out the manga goes past the election arc. And I was like, oh, I've got to get this. So that's when I realized you could buy it in big bulk, like parts. I think it's 3 pieces of 12, because there's 36 volumes. And yeah, I bought whatever the last 12 are, 24 through 36, and I read the ending, and I was just like, this is so good. I can't believe this is how it ends, but at the point when I had picked up the manga, I think it was on year 3 or 4 of hiatus. Nobody had heard from Togashi. It was like peak. Oh, my uncle lives over by him. He's seen him. He goes to restaurants and stuff. Saw him at the gas station the other day. He seems fine. And stuff like that. Every other day there was a post where people were like, he owes it to us. He needs to finish it. The fans deserve an ending and stuff. It was crazy. So I had to get away from it. But I ended up just buying the rest of it once I learned that Kite had some bonus stuff at the start. And then when I read everything with Cone, is it Cone? Con? Who's the bear cat? I can't remember. Anyways, when I read all that extra stuff in volume 1 and saw all like the watercolor work and whatnot, it just captivated me. It instantly became my favorite story for like the last few years. Ooh, my brain told me to go through the door. Intrusive thought. But I think I've read through Hunter x Hunter 5 times at least. I know I've read some of the books more than 10 times. Like, I know I've read the, what do they call it? Is it the Succession arc? The Kaki, what do they call it? I can't think of the name of the actual arc we're on right now. But pretty much as soon as Jean meets Periston's goons, onward to the Black Whale 1, I've probably read that 10 times. I will admit, I'm a Jean apologist. I'll just say it. I don't know who my favorite character is, though. Greed Island's my favorite arc. I have no problem saying that. I loved the Greed Island arc. I loved the Greed Island arc my first watch through, and then when I read the manga, I loved it even more because I think there's a little snippet that he puts at the start of every book, and I think there's one that mentions him and his brother making an entire card game, and then later when you get to the Greed Island arc, you're just like, oh, why would he make an entire card game for just one arc? And then you go back and reread, and you catch him mentioning him making a... Was it... I'll have to make sure I'm remembering this correctly. I hope it was him that said that. He might not even have a brother. I'll have to make sure I'm remembering this all correctly. But if I remember correctly, you'll read through Hunter x Hunter, and he'll mention, like, creating an entire card game when he was younger. And then you actually read through Greed Island, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is that card game. It's neat. You definitely get a lot from the manga that you don't in animes. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that you can get from an anime that you'd never get from a manga. Like certain scenes having music composed to them. Wonderful. Netero, for instance, has a scene that's specifically better anime only. Anytime when he's using 90... Like, is it 99 hands? I think Zero Hand has it. I might be mistaken. But, like, all the scenes where he's using his, Type 100 or whatever... I can't actually remember the name of it all of a sudden. But when the statue's hands appear in the manga, they're just black voids. However, in the anime, you actually see that tranquil garden or whatever it comes from, and it's really, like, a nice touch. It's scarier in the manga because, again, the hands are just coming out of this black void. And then I think the Zero Hand actually shows, like, the garden. I'll have to double check. Where is my water for the day? Is this my water for the day? I can't tell. Oop. Looked away from the screen, trying to grab a water off the counter. That seems room temp. I don't think that was my water from today. A little BPA never hurt anybody. A lot of BPA hurts people, though. For generations. It's a generational thing, you wouldn't understand. Ooh, 768. So this will take me to 750. Yep, so boom, that is 13 loops roughly. Just about. Excuse me. Oh, I drank that water a little fast. I'm almost wondering if I should just go straight into Final Fantasy. No. I've only been live for 44 minutes. But I'm gonna get off, eat a waffle, and a protein shake. and then come back. So if I eat a waffle and a protein shake, I might get tired enough to sit down and play my DS, knock out Dragon Quest VIII, get the last seeds of agility that I need for today, the seeds of strength for today, and maybe some seeds of wisdom. I don't actually need seeds of wisdom. Lay down, relax for a little bit, and then play Final Fantasy 12 when I know how much I need to save up for all the monographs, and then figure out which way character I want to play as, because I can unlock Cow... Is it Cow P or Cow Pi? I think it's Cow Pi. I think if I play as Cow Ren, I get Cow Pi. If I play as Zhao Dun, I get like Zhao something else. It starts with a T, I think. And he uses like a mace or something like that. It's like a straight mace. It's the same weapon that 1,000 Stings is in Dragon's Dogma. I'm not sure what that's called exactly, but... Or 1,000 Troops. I think it's 1,000 Troops. 1,000 Stings is similar. Same shape, but 1,000 Troops is the same weapon. So I definitely have choices. The choice is yours. You can do this the easy way or the hard way. But I'll figure out who I'm going to play through as that. I've got Wu and Shu figured out already, obviously. Once I'm done with Shu, I will unlock an unaligned person named, I think, Dian Chao. And she will unlock my Zhao Rouge, who is the Nanan queen. Nanan? I'll have to double check. Ooh, my throat is dry. I don't know why. It went from like super humid today to like ultra dry. I wonder if the mountains are in season. Doing their yearly winds. If you've never lived near the mountains, once a year they just get up and turn 180 degrees and flip, and you get a different side of them. It's a lot of dust. It's part of tectonic plates. Probably didn't pay attention enough in school to know that mountains move. Yep, once a year they flip 100. I don't know if it's 180 degrees per se, but it's like they just flip exactly in place. Big dust cloud. That's why you can't see it happen. Oh man, I have a nasty bruise on my elbow. I was carrying stuff up the ladder, and nothing will put you pretty much more on edge besides maybe a tiger hunting you in the jungle. But carrying something up a ladder that's just slightly out of your comfort range for weight, ooh. So I finally got up to the top of the ladder, and my arm just a little wiggle. I wouldn't even call it a wobble, just a wiggle, and just jerked trying to save. It was like a nightstand kind of thing, but it had tiny little legs on it. So like I had to hold it with like a perfect 90-degree elbow, and when I jerked to like refine my balance underneath the nightstand, I just cracked my elbow on another table that was up in the little storage area. Even then I wouldn't call it a table. It's like a little coffee it's a coffee table. Coffee table's a table. Just because you put the word coffee in front of it doesn't take it away. But just caught my elbow on it. It's also what I get for trying to do something on a ladder, not having somebody there to help me like hand it up while I'm already safely on top. But I thought I could climb the ladder with just one hand and carry it, like, again, 90-degree elbow. Had it perfectly balanced, made it all the way to the top, and did that like, if you've ever climbed a ladder with something in one arm, it's like a sad crawl onto whatever ledge you're trying to get to, then onto your knees. And I'd made it to my knees and just Thought I was losing that balance I had. Readjusted, and nope, hadn't lost my balance, but I managed to crack my elbow on a table. I guess I did lose my balance in the end. I want to say that I didn't, but that's just me trying to save face. I lost my balance. Cracked my elbow. And it's bruised. I'm realizing it's bruised now. Crawl spaces are great. It's a great way to, like, create space where you're not using it in, like, a bedroom or something. I don't even think they're crawl space. I think it's a loft, technically. I think it would be technically an open loft. But personally, I'm a firm believer that bedrooms should look like the front of like an RV, where you got your, like, I should say a reverse RV, where, like, you normally have, like, the driving part of the RV and stuff, and then sometimes in campers they'll have, like, the bed and whatnot above that, so that it has that, like, Neanderthal brow look to it. So you basically do a reverse of that, and your bed and stuff are where the driver's seat and steering wheel are, and then you can store stuff in the top section. Because nobody actually stands in bed. What are you doing? You better not have your shoes on. So it's just it's free real estate. If he would have hit me on that door, I would have been so annoyed. Ooh, halfway through the 600 already. Just zooming. Not really. Not really at all. But it's nice to feel that way. For 2 years in college, I slept in a closet. Like a tiny closet. It literally, we had to, like, force a twin mattress into it. Like, force it. I couldn't even believe we got it through the door. But it worked. Why not? Sometimes, if I was depressed enough, I would just hang up my clothes, and I didn't even need a blanket because I could just pull my clothes on the hangers across me. That's peak efficientism. I think the technical word is minimalism, but I didn't want to give him credit. Because it wasn't minimal. It was lazy. It was efficient. Oh my gosh, in the winter though, great. Little pocket. At first I was afraid because it was like, oh my gosh, this closet's on like the exterior wall. Like, I'm gonna freeze to death, but nope. If you can afford to go to school post general education, you can most likely afford to go to the local linen store and buy cheap, what are they called? Microfiber? No. What are those blankets that have like is it like a polyester? They're like super soft. They almost feel like microfiber. But you just buy like 5 or 6 of those, and you literally will sweat to death in the middle of winter. You just have the key is to interlay them with each other so that the friction of each blanket pulls on one another and your cocoon never unravels. It's like the old phone book trick where if you just layer each page together, you can't pull the phone books apart. So if you just put like different pieces of each blanket interlocked with one another, the friction from each blanket will not pull away. You also create an insane amount of static. It's kind of cool, but kind of awful at the same time. Summertime is terrible, though. Absolutely terrible. When you're stuck in a closet of your own sweat and heat. Absolutely miserable. The worst. But it's possible. Do I recommend it? Yeah, sure, why not? I don't recommend trying it before one second. Checking the closet out. The spiders. It is a hub for spiders. Everybody's closet's a hub for spiders. But I do recommend checking out sleeping in a closet before you sign a lease to sleep in said closet. Because some people bite off more than they can chew. The closet life is not for you if you don't like claustrophobia. If you like being claustrophobic, the experience of like being in a tight space and it freaking you out, great time. If you don't enjoy that, not a good time. If tight spaces don't freak you out at all, it's, again, you gotta check it out for yourself. But I like a little bit of thrill in life. Sleeping with one eye open. The funniest thing about the closet was, again, it obviously the door opens out because it's not a room, it's a closet. But like you could very easily just be locked into said closet. And it was funny at first, but eventually I can't remember who it was moved in after me. But we just removed the entire door because they were not having it. I might have even removed the door. I can't even remember. But especially when you're in school, you rarely have time to actually, like, enjoy a bedroom to yourself. Even if you have your own bedroom, like, you better be getting a full ride if you want to sit in there. Because your time is going to be spent studying, going to class, and probably enjoying your free time more than ever. Every second. Because as soon as you realize that you've gone over into not free time, it's panic time. So after a few, well, I guess not everybody even adjusts to that. I've met some people that never adjusted to it. Those people are crazy. I am one of the biggest procrastinators I've ever met in my 28 years. And meeting people who not only procrastinate more than me, but just straight up don't even do the work, are just mind-boggling. I procrastinate to the point sometimes where I don't get the work done. But, like, I'll panic do it. I'm the kid trying to panic do the homework in class while the teacher's collecting it. But, like, the people sitting next to me who are just looking around like, what homework? And it's like, oh, come on, dude. We have homework every day. Like, even I know that. And it's just like, I've never understood that mindset. It's so calming. I could never handle it. It'd be too much. Their calm, empty mentality would be overwhelming to me. I just forget. I literally cannot stay on the same track of mind. Even if the train only follows one trail, I'm getting that train off the track somehow. Some way, somehow, with however much willpower it takes, because I'm not putting in extra. We're there. Come on. One more loop. Let's go. Give me that money. All right, so we're gonna finish this up, and oh, just over an hour. Look at that. That makes me feel like I could have been more efficient and easily saved the next minute that I'm about to rack up getting this 30 experience. Especially if I can get 30 experience in under a minute. I can get it right here, right? Yes. Am I going to get it under in a minute? Yes. Okay. Oh, defense increase. Wonderful. Yeah, so 1 hour and 50 seconds. Oh, shoot. 3,099 plus 12. So, oh. Huh, so we're at 3,090, just over 3,099. So what was it, 3,011? No, 3,111. Yeah, I think so. All right, so I'm looking at a lot of time. I wonder when is it just going to be a slow climb, or is it just going to take a giant jump? Because again, he shows that it costs 28,000 at level 80. So I'm going to guess that it could cost into the 40 and 50,000s, but by that point, hold on. How much do I already have missing? Okay, so here we go. We go Google Kingdom Hearts 2 level up. Where does it say it? Where's the big? There it is. 2,875,578. We go here, go calculator, paste, minus 17,868. Yeah, that doesn't even change the number at all. Divided by 29,000. That equals 98. So what is 90? Oh my god. Is this one of those things that's gonna like cost an insane amount at the end? Like, does 98... Also, I need to find out if that boss automatically levels me up or not, or if he just gives a set amount of experience. Because I was thinking about that, and if he only gives like 2,000 experience, it'd be a bummer. It'd be a serious bummer. But again, I can pretty much beat him at any point and find that out, so. We will do that. My MP's at 100. Did my MP actually go up, or is the strength go up? Is that what goes up? I'm guessing it's the strength goes up. Not much to go off of. Alright, so until next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping by, and I will almost guaranteed be on Dynasty Warriors. If I'm not, it's Final Fantasy 12. So, thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next time.